I would like to tell you about PyramidTimes. PyramidTimes is a platform where we are spreading the newest spirituality, enlightened entrepreneurship, and also leadership wisdom. So if you also feel you are an expert in this field, you can just reach out to us on pyramidtimes@gmail.com. Please take a minute and do subscribe to our channel and all the webinar recordings, lot of interviews with the esteemed speakers across the globe of various organizations are going to be there on our YouTube channel. So please go ahead and subscribe. So with this, I would like to introduce the speaker for the day, Bindu. Bindu Bodanapu. She is a chartered accountant by profession working in IT as a change manager for the largest retailer in the UK. Bindu is a certified transformational life coach, NLP certified life coach, law of attraction certified life coach, and also Ho'oponopono practitioner. And today she will be talking how we can create our life consciously and not from the past that we have been carrying, which is not working for us. And she will be telling us a lot of knowledge from various speakers she has studied for past few years. And with this, I welcome Bindu to take over this stage. Welcome, Bindu.
By the introduction, my name is Bindu Bodanapu from London, UK. A very happy new year to you all, and thank you very much for joining this session. So today, the topic is rewrite your story. So let's get going then. So rewrite your story. I thought this is a very apt title for as we begin the new year. So whoever has attended today, I really want them, there's a lot of takeaways here in the session, and I really want them to kind of, sort of reprogram in their mind. Once after the session, I really want them to become supernatural. What supernatural means to me is you create your life by just your thought alone. And this sounds amazing, right? I will take you through and explain how our future is destined by thoughts and feelings and emotions. So let's dive into, we already passed 5 minutes, so let's dive in. So I know every one of you who joined here today for a reason. So either you want to create abundance in your life, or maybe you're looking for more happiness, or maybe more success, or you're looking for better relationships. So it can be anything. But let me tell you this, whatever reason you're here today, this is, I promise you, if you completely watch the session, there is so much of knowledge you would have gained. So this is going to literally change your life, and you will be ready to rewrite your story. So going on. So before we dive in, so I just wanted to understand or make you understand to unlock the potential of your mind. So we have this infinite potential within our mind that we don't really, within our brain, basically, that we don't really use very much. So we have two types of minds, which is a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, which I'll be talking about a bit later. But then what we want to understand really is we have about 70 to 80,000 of thoughts every day. So which is something that occupies our mind all the time. And the thoughts become things. How it become things, I'll take you through that. And your brain is constant, and you have that infinite potential of your brain where you can actually develop your brain. And there is something called within a science called neuroplasticity, where you can actually develop your brain. So today I'd like to walk you through some of the principles that's based on neuroscience, quantum physics, and law of attraction. So to give you a brief about the principles, which I'm going to talk about, there's many more, but because in the interest of time, we got only 1 hour. So I'm just going to walk you through what they are basically. So I want you to understand everything around us is energy. We are less matter and we are more energy. So our body is made up of 99.999% of energy and 0.000% of matter. So we have this unlimited possibilities and potential in the quantum energy field. So as we go through, I'll explain a bit more about it. But if you can just understand, quantum energy field is this infinite field around us. And we create our own reality. How do we create it? Through our thoughts and feelings. So this is mainly the secret or the essence of the session, because we create our own reality. We are the creators of our own life. And law of attraction. So law of attraction, I'm sure you all must have heard about law of attraction. So law of attraction is again, this is like a law of gravity in the universe, where you have that ability to attract into life whatever you're focusing on. So let me tell you, everything around us is energy. We are less matter and more energy. So energy carries information. Energy connects with everything. So if you understand this principle of energy, you will be able to kind of relate everything to what I'm saying in this session today. So everything, we are energy beings. So we are spiritual energy beings who have come onto this planet for a human experience. So this is what you need to understand. So we carry energy, and energy is everything, and our thoughts. How does this energy? So when we say energy, how does this energy travels? Your thoughts begin with it, and your emotions amplify it, and the action increases the momentum. So your thoughts, whatever you're thinking, can be anything really. So when you have a thought, there would be an emotion attached to it. So what happens to this emotion? Emotion, in another word, is called emotion. E means energy, energy in motion. So what happens when you have a thought which got an emotion? It actually amplifies, and it actually creates that momentum, and then it's going to manifest at some point in your life. So that is why we got to be extremely careful with our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So what are we then? So we said, okay, thoughts, whatever thought you're thinking are electric, and emotions are magnetic. So this creates a vibrational frequency in the universe. We attract things, and we match that vibrational frequency of our thoughts and emotions. So I'll give you a bit of more understanding of what the thoughts are, what the emotions are, but then I want you to understand. So if you're sad, you're going to attract something of that sort. So you're going to match at what frequency is your thoughts vibrating. So we just imagine we are like that giant electromagnet in this universe. So we attract everything. So whatever you give out, you bring it back, because we're talking about law of attraction, where whatever you give is going to be returned back to you. So again, so it can be any event or things, or people of vibrational match. You would have seen, if you're thinking about buying a car, say you want to buy maybe an example, a BMW. So you would have seen that since you have that thought in your mind, when you go out and you're driving around, you would be seeing more of the similar cars that you thought about. So this is a law of attraction. You're trying to bring in whatever you're thinking. So this is actually bringing it back. So this is your vibration is at that frequency to what you are actually attracting. So this is how the universe works, and this is where we need to understand and be very mindful of what we are thinking, what the emotion we are putting in, right? So when we thoughts are electric, when we said thoughts are electric, feelings are magnetic. So feelings are the language of the heart. So what does feelings? So you feeling sad, you're happy, you're joy, feeling of joy. So all these are the feelings which are the language of the heart, because you feel it within your heart, right? And then what about the brain, your thoughts? Because where does the thought come from? It comes from the brain. So when whatever we feel, and uh, whatever we trying to put out into the universe, we attract it. So what we feel manifests. So whether it can be positive or negative, this is a universal law. So just be so mindful. This is a universal law. Regardless, the universe does not understand your language, but it only understands how you're feeling, right? So now let's look at this vibrational scale of consciousness. So what we need to understand here, like I said, emotions, energy in motion. So energy vibrates at a certain frequency. This is called the law of vibration. And that's where the law of attraction kicks in. And then whatever thought you're sending out into the universe, you're going to draw the event back into your quantum field. Okay, so when we look at the scale here, you can see that shame, guilt, grief, fear, all these are low frequency vibrations. And then, if you're vibrating, imagine you're vibrating at this frequency, what are you going to attract in your life? You're going to attract events of similar nature. And nobody can deny it because it's a universal law. What if you try and vibrate at a very high frequency where you see love, joy, peace? What happens then? You're going to attract an event that is similar to that frequency. So this is something that I just want you to understand. And so as we go through, I'll kind of explain how it works. So brain. So before we dive into further into neuroscience, I just want to give you a bit of understanding on how our brain and its functions, and how the brain is a seed of those emotions. So when we look at our brains now, the evolved brain, we have three brains. So one is the neurocortex, limbic brain, and the reptilian brain. The brain is a record of the past. The moment you start, so what happens when you wake up in the morning? I want this to be very interactive, but I know this is a webinar style, but doesn't matter. But you can probably ask me more questions towards the end of the session. But what do you do when you wake up in the morning? First thing in the morning, what do you do? So first thing in the morning, as you wake up in the morning, you are a clean slate. Your mind is very clean. But once your senses begins to operate, what happens? So, example, I'm just giving you an example. This is a real time, and this is what generally happens. So people take the phone out, they look at the phone, they look at Facebook, Twitter, probably Instagram or emails. So what happens? So you're trying to connect with the external environment. So Facebook or Instagram or checking your emails. And once you do that, what happens? You're trying to signal your brain. So you see something in Facebook. What do? You're kind of comparing yourself with whatever somebody posted. So you kind of now triggering some of the memories of your past, probably, so it could be something of your childhood, or it can be something of, something happened, an incident that happened in the past, or something that could make you unhappy or make you feel victimized. So this is what you're triggering. So once you wake up and then go have a shower and then you're getting ready to work, so now you're thinking about your work, or you're thinking about the people in your home, or people, for example, you're thinking about somebody at home, maybe mother-in-law, or you're thinking about somebody, a co-worker at work who is kind of pushing your emotional buttons. So what is happening then? So you are actually creating your so if you're trying to think about something at work which is going to give you an emotion of being victimized or feeling scared. Why do you feel that? Because there's something in your memory that has happened in the past, you're trying to associate with it, right? This is how our brain works. So your thoughts initiated it, and you're feeling sad, yes, and then thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Now you're trying to emit that emotions of frustration, anger, jealousy, or whatever it can be. So what is happening then? You're kind to get into that loop of emotions, feelings, and your thinking. So what makes your personality then? So how you think, how you feel, and how you act is a state of being. So, so how you think, how you feel, how you act is a state of being. Then, so you are actually, it is a cycle, right? So you wake up, you're thinking of those co-workers or somebody you're not happy with, or whatever it is. So you're feeling, your heart starts feeling something, and then you start acting that way, right? So that becomes your state of being. So now your personality is created through how you feel, and then this becomes your personal reality in life. So what do you now, we've looked at how energy flows, right? So you're thinking of those things that really doesn't serve you, for example, being sad or being jealous or being, unhappy and feeling unworthy. So what do you attract in life then? You're going to attract the incidents, or you're going to attract the events that are going to be of that same frequency. So you're feeling unworthy, right? You go to work, you give a presentation, probably your manager might tell you, no, you haven't done well, or you haven't you didn't really present yourself well. So that is going to again make you feel very sad. So this is how the life revolves. Now if you see how we create the same realities. So now you see the same thoughts, same choices, and the same actions and behaviors will give you the same experiences. The same experience. And now, what did I say? It's the same thoughts. Wake up in the morning thinking about your work. You don't really fit in well within your team, or probably you don't go very well with your manager, whatever it can be. So what choices then? Again, you're feeling that same choice of being deprived, you feel very unworthy, or you feel quite sad. So whatever it can be. So then your actions and behavior. So you're going to feel that, right? So you're not going to be happy. Then what happens? The experience you're going to face is going to be the same. And again, you're going to feel the same feeling. You're feeling unworthy, shame, resentment, grief. So again, what drives that? Into the same thought. So this is a vicious cycle. If you see, this is absolutely a vicious cycle that you really, really need to be very much aware of this. If you want to change your reality, what do? You have to break this cycle. This is the only way to be better than what you are feeling right now. Okay, so your personality creates your personal reality. So your thoughts, actions, and feelings is your state of being. So when we say that this is so, what is making you to feel this is because of something that has happened in the past, right? So your past, your brain is triggering those memories from the past. It's a record of the past that it's telling you, oh, I faced some bad incident with somebody. So then what happens? You're going to feel the same emotions. So you're going to go into this loop, right? So now, looking at what you feel, what actions you take, and how you feel, don't you think that your future is going to be very predictable? Do you think your future can be any different to what you're feeling now? No, right? Because you are driving through those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and you're going into that vicious cycle of the same thoughts, same experiences, and same feelings. And your future does not be can't be anything better because you've already created it, and then your future cannot be anything more different than what you're feeling right now, unless you break the cycle of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That's when your future can be something different to what you're facing right now. Okay. So now, how do you change your reality then? So, same thoughts, same choices, same actions, same behaviors, same experiences, same feelings. This is the old state of being. Like we just said, this is a vicious cycle. This is how you're feeling. And you can never come out of it until you change your how you're thinking, right? So, in order for you to change how you're thinking, how you're behaving, what we need to do, we need to create a new state of being. So how do you create this new state of being then? So you need to have new set of thoughts, new choices, new actions, new behaviors, new experiences, and new feelings. So this is called a new state of being. So how do you break the habit of being your old self, and how you become somebody which is new? So you got to really reinvent yourself. You got to completely come off what you're doing right now, and then you got to be a new self, right? So this is called a river of change. So what that means is, so familiar, predictable past. So you are here now. So you know what you're doing right now. You're having the same emotions, same feelings, same experiences. Now you want to be a new self, completely a new self, where your future is quite unpredictable. So how do you cross this river? This is the most difficult part. Cross the river of change, right? So you need to cross this river of change, which is going to be very challenging. We know with thoughts, feelings, emotions, we can change our future. Yes, it is very, very possible. But then you got to also remember that there is so many hindrances, procrastinations that you would feel. Your body. I mean, we're just talking about just the mind and the heart, but biologically, chemically, neurologically, there is so many changes that happens in your body when you have a thought of either it's being sad or being demotivated. There is so many stress hormones that actually get releases in your body. Okay, so moving on. So why is change so difficult then? Change, we say the change. I said to you, this is a change. We need to cross the river of change. So, which the reason why it is, what is driving your past. Now I'm sure you understood what is your familiar past and the present is looking like. So now, if you want to reinvent your new self, and you need to cross this river of change. So, how do you cross that river of change then? And why is the change so difficult? So the change is so difficult generally because we are driven by the hormones of stress. We are always in this flight or fight or flight response into our neurological system. So what that means is, so we always thinking about when we go into work, we are stressed, and we it's so difficult for us to really change ourselves because we are always under stress. There is something called a fight or flight response. So what that means is when it's a predator here, the animal, if you see there's a lion or a tiger attacking a zebra, so what does the choice of a zebra have? It either have to fight with the tiger, which it cannot, or it has to flight. That means it has to run away. So what happens to our body then? So this is an example. This is what it is based on. But then here, what is for us? Who is the predator here? So for example, we're talking about a random example really, but this here we're talking about a colleague in an office, or your manager, or maybe your mother-in-law, or your husband, or anyone it can be. So he's the predator is them, right? So now what happens to your body now? So your body, when we think in terms of the energy now, what happens, we go into the body, the nervous system in our body goes into this fight or flight response, in order for you to survive. So in order for you to survive, what happens? So I'll tell you here, the body responds to stress, right? What happens here when the body is now trying to respond to your stress? So the mood changes because you get frustrated, you get angry, the heart rate increases because somebody is chasing you. So there's a predator that's chasing you. So what happens to your biologically and neurologically in your body is your heart beat starts increasing, inflammation inside your body increases, and the muscles tense up, and your digestion and everything gets abnormal. Why does that get abnormal? Is because you're trying to fight here. You're doing that firefighting in order to rescue yourself. So this is why the change gets so difficult, because unless you try and manage your emotions. So how do you manage? Here the predator is a tiger, but we said the example of an employee. So employee or employer, or your manager, or it can be somebody at home who's actually triggering, pushing your emotional buttons. That's when, just with the thought alone. So when you wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about work, I'm getting stressed out. So what does that mean? Just with thought alone, we are actually switching on this nervous system, which is called, we are trying to create stress in our body, and then this is the nervous system that gets completely impacted in our body. So this is called, we have two types of nervous systems. One is the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system prepares your body to fight or flight mode response. So this is once you start triggering your stress, the alarm bell starts ringing in your body, and then your nervous system, your body goes into the sympathetic nervous system where the body is trying to fight with the external response. So you're in that alarm state. So, all the energy in your body goes into this fighting mode to fight the stress outside. So that is why when you're in this state of emotion where you're trying to fight stress, will you be able to create your new future? Yes? No? You will not be able to create a new future because you can't even think. Because imagine a tiger is chasing you, what would you do? You would run, right? Is that the time you would, sit and, think about your new future? No, it's not the time at all, because you need to survive yourself first. So this is where your body goes into this fight or flight response, and then, nervous system starts impacting. And then, when the sympathetic nervous system, which is an alarm bell, which starts ringing, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is in the which helps you to restore, just switches off, and this is, you switched on your parasympathetic nervous system. So when we talk about stress, when I was working, when I was in stress, I did understand stress is harmful for you, but I never understood this is what actually does to your body, how your body biologically changes with just the thought alone of being in stress. What happens to your body? Can you see? It's so much. The brain activity decreases, heartbeats, the brain act, so I mean the brain activity increases because you're trying to fight the stress. And then obviously there's so many biological organs try to put all the energy in order to function, in order to fight the outside response. Okay, so now we're always, so why change gets so difficult is because we are always in the survival mode, in the stress, contraction, selfishness, imbalance, emergency state. We are always mostly, I mean, not everyone, but mostly we are either in stress, which we cannot really create anything new. So we need to come out of stress. We need to make ourselves there's so many ways, so many tools, what we can use, how to come out of stress, which I will be talking about in a little while. But then you need to really understand what happens for you when you're in stress. So if you're not in stress, then what happens? So if you're not in homeostasis is again a balance. This is a balance between a sympathetic and a parasympathetic nervous system, where the body is functioning the way it should be, right? So you want to be in a state of creation, not in the state of survival. This is so important. So if you're struggling with stress, you need to really work on yourself, and you wanted to come out of that stress, and you wanted to be in a state of emotion creation. So you can, now what happens to your body then? Your body, these are the things that you could actually achieve when you are in creation mode. So you can love yourself, you can love others, you're in a state of joy, happiness, and the body repairs itself. Your body starts healing. If somebody has problems with their health and they want to heal themselves, what do? You can never heal yourself if you're in the state of survival. You want to be in the state of creation. So that is why change is so important. And also change is difficult only because until and unless you come off your stress hormones, that you cannot really reinvent yourself or recreate yourself. So when you're in survival, if you see, the body, instead of being in ease, it becomes dis-ease. Yeah, instead of selfless, you're becoming selfish, because you're thinking just about yourself, because you're trying to fight, isn't it? So this is what happens when you are in the state of survival, and then you wanted to be in the state of creation. Okay, so now I just want to explain that we have two minds. One is the conscious mind, and then the other one is unconscious mind. So, what is a conscious mind? So, conscious mind is the tip of an iceberg. If you think about the minds that we operate ourselves in the conscious mind, which is only a 10% of the whole ability of the mind that we can use. The reason it's called a tip of an iceberg is because 90% of the subconscious mind we do not even use, or we do use it, but it is very limited. So what happens with the conscious mind? You're able to think. The logical thinking happens with your conscious mind. Your willpower, right? You wanted to do something, so new year, new resolutions. With willpower, you wanted to actually do something better for this 2021. I'm sure you all must have taken some newer resolutions to do something better in your life, which is, again, this is operating at a conscious mind level. So conscious mind, again, but what is the majority of the mind is? It's the subconscious mind. Until and unless we try to reprogram in our subconscious mind, we will not see any change, because the subconscious mind is basically driven by belief system. Belief system is, again, something, it's a very huge topic. I'll just give you just a bit of a brief on belief system. Belief system is something that is coming through your, either with your childhood, or past lives, or it could be something somebody has said to you. For example, I'll give you an example. Belief system for me is most common example is money does not grow on trees. People can never become rich, or I can never become rich. These are the sort of belief systems that people has that hardwired into the brain. When I go to the brain, I'll explain you how the subconscious beliefs are hardwired into your brain. So habits and addiction. So you do something very repetitively. So what is it? It's a habit. So where is this habit evolved from? From your subconscious mind. And subconscious mind is driven by long-term memory. So subconscious mind, anything that you do from when you're a baby, maybe from 3 to 5 years, or 5 to 8 years, everything sits in your subconscious mind. You people habits become habits because of the actions that you do when you're young, or could be an external environment. It can be anything, really. It's a very large topic, but just want to just give you only a slight brief about how this basically works. Now, so now we said, now there is something in science called neuroplasticity. So most of the people we see, they say, oh, I'm getting old and I can't learn a new language, or I can never be rich, or I can never learn new programs. These are some common beliefs that people talk about. But mind, just try and understand that mind is very powerful. And the mind, you have that infinite power within you to create anything you want in life. How do you create it? With your mind again. So thoughts that pass through your mind are responsible for every action. So every thought you are actually creating in your life is also actually creating a changing creating a chemistry in your body, and also your body is also changing just because of your thought. So your cells in your body, every cell in your body, we have so many cells in our body, and every cell in our body has consciousness. When we talk to ourselves, or when you're listening, or when you're hearing something, just imagine that every cell in your body is actually listening to you. So it is so important for you to basically understand that this mind has that infinite power, and you can actually rewire that brain. And you can become that personally. You can, it's like a superpower. The brain is like a superpower, and it depends on what thoughts and emotions you choose. So if you see, neuroplasticity is a science, a recent science, where it says it takes 21 days to form a new habit. So when you do something very repetitively every day, the brain gets forms new neurons in your network. So I'll show you. So this is a rule, a Head's rule, it's called. So neurons that fire together wire together. Neurons out of sync, fail to link. So basically, based on the neuroscience, what it basically means is you can create new neurons in your body. When you create new neurons in your brain, what happens is, you're creating new information in your body. So you're creating that neural networks in your body. So okay. So yeah. So if you see this is how your neurons in your brain look like. So you're creating when a thought comes, this is a neural network that is actually getting created in your body. So you can basically, well, so it's never too late to learn anything new. It's never too late to change a habit. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. What do you do then? So you have to become a new self. Then this is what you need to do. So you basically have, there is a formula. It says learning, doing, being. So you're learning something new. So you're reading a new book, you picked up some new information. So what happens, you're actually creating this new neurons in your brain. So and then when you create new neurons, then what are you doing? You're trying to practice it, and then you try to do, you become your new self. These neurons create a hard wire into your brain. It becomes a program into your mind. So it just becomes a conscious habit. So you picked up a new habit, for example, anything. Say, for example, saying gratitude every day, expressing gratitude. So then you understand why you express gratitude. So when you express gratitude, why you do it, and then you kind of doing it every day, and then you're being it. So what that means is, when you do the three, learning, doing, being, you're actually creating that hardwired program into your brain. So that means it becomes a conscious habit. So that is why if you do it for 21 days, so it's recommended that you do it for 21 days, and you kind of, it becomes a habit naturally. Okay, so now when we understand this is what it's a thoughts that's actually creating a reality, and the thoughts are now driving your emotions. So so people, one may ask, I mean, how do we stop those emotions? How do we how do we balance those emotions? It's not, is it possible? Well, as a human being, it is, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but we are human beings, so it is possible that we trigger to those emotions. But then, what you need to understand here, this is what it says. So when you have an experience, a bad experience, and then you have it for few hours or few days. So what happens? Your mood changes. We call it a mood, right? So when you, for example, you kind of had an argument with somebody, for example. So what happens? Your mood on that day, your mood is very low. We say that I'm not in a good mood. So because of this experience, so how long does that mood last? If it's lasting, I mean, if it's lasting for hours or days, then we call it a mood, right? If that emotion is lasting for weeks and months, what happens? We call it a person, a temperament. So when you see people who are very temperament, who get triggered so quickly, very angry for no reason, it's because they've got some really bad experience in the past that's become that, hardwired into the brain, and then they become very temperament. You see them getting triggered off for no reason. And then if you have that emotion or that experience, you're holding on to that experience for years in your life. So many people say, oh, if you go and ask somebody and say, why are you like this? And somebody says, oh, this is because of 10 years ago, I had this incident in my life. So if you think they're carrying that incident in their life, in their mind and the body for so many years, it becomes a personality trait. So this is the most difficult thing to change. So this is why we need to make sure that, experience, when you have emotions, okay, we can't control it, but yes, but then, we just want to make sure that we balance those emotions by having it at a very low length, or, very minimal length as possible. So and the research says that most of the people get associated to these emotions or these experiences from the past which they are trying to fabricate it over time and they embellish over time, which 50% is not even correct. So can you imagine how much we are carrying in our mind and body, and what chemically, neurologically, biologically we're changing our body and our mind to these incidents or experiences that we had in the past, which might not even be true. So this is what we really need to understand. Okay. So now the most important, so how do we change now? So now we understood that, our reality, our story rather, is because of these emotions or thoughts and the feelings. And these feelings and thoughts are driven by something that happened in the past. So if I have to ask you a question, do you remember any incidents, or are you angry with somebody, from childhood or maybe few years ago? I'm sure there's many people who are actually saying yes. Yeah, the many people who say yes to it, because we are actually driven. The memory is a record of the past, and we are actually driving that memory from the past incidents, and which is actually changing our, neurologically and biologically, the conditions in our body. So now, how do we change them? How do we become or reinvent a new self? And we can actually rewrite our story. I know we did say change is a little bit difficult, but then it's not possible. There's so many tips and tools that we have, which I really want to share with you. I've put a lot of them for you, so you can actually try and use them in your day-to-day life. I want this to be such a breakthrough session for you today, because we just stepped into the new year. I want you to take this as a life changing. I want you to change, so you can rewrite your own story for 2021. Okay, so choose your thoughts wisely, for they are energy. So like we said, we are energy beings. We are constantly, we are in this electromagnetic field. We are constantly emitting out energy with the thoughts and the feelings. So make sure that what are you thinking every day? You choose your thoughts wisely. So how do we do it then? The first thing I wanted to tell you is invest in yourself, because investing in yourself is investing in your future, right? So take some time out of your busy life. I know we all are busy. We're working, we're doing many things every day. But how do you invest in your own self is actually taking that time out. Shut off from your cell phones, turn off your TVs, or power down your computers, whatever it is, the social media basically. If you could take some time out of that, so what you can, this is the time you can reinvent yourself, because you what can you do that time? Sit down, just contemplate of who you are, take a walk in the nature, connect with the nature, because when you connect with the nature, nature is a beautiful teacher. Nature teaches us everything. The sun teaches us something, the moon teaches us something, so and the stars teaches us something. So whatever it is, when we have these emotions, good times, bad times, but then nature is the best teacher. You shine when there is sunshine, but even when the low times, when it is dark, you can be the moon. So there's so many things we learn from nature. So it's so important you take your time out, and invent in yourself. Inventing in yourself is inventing in your future. And again, one more thing I like to add here is, because you want to create this new neurological network in your brain, I want you to kind of read books, read lots and lots of books. I haven't put it down here, but reading books is the best way. Make books your best friends, because when you read book, that is something you are actually creating the new neural network into your mind. And this is where you can actually you can see yourself reinventing yourself. Okay, so that's so important. And present moment awareness, this is where we lack most of the time. We set ourselves to fail is because we lack this present moment awareness. Practicing mindfulness, what does mindfulness then means? So mindfulness is being in the present moment, doing what you're doing, not thinking about something that's happened in the past, or neither being thinking about something that's going to happen in the future, being anxious about it. We tend to be anxious. So now, tomorrow I'm going back to work. Oh, what is it going to be like? I'm going to have all these things to do. So you're being anxious already, even before the event has happened. What are you doing? You're actually thinking about it. So what happens when you're thinking neurologically in your mind and biologically in your body? Neurologically, you're triggering the stress hormones. And what happens to your body then? You're going to, at some point, you're going to, the sympathetic nervous system kicks in. So you can see the connection between your mind, body, how your thoughts create your reality is because of, not being in the present moment. So the best way to take care of the future is just being in the present moment. Enjoy what you're doing, regardless of the situation. Just enjoy. If you think about the future, you're losing the present moment. This is a gift. Being in the present moment is a gift. Nobody has given a guarantee about the future. It can be anything really, but why do you want to lose the present moment while you are, thinking about something in your future? So to mindful and mindfulness, is basically a difference. So just a little example I put in here. So if you see this man walking, he is actually thinking about so many things that's in his mind, either work, family, relation, whatever it can be. This is what he's thinking. But, being mindful is this. He's taking a walk in the nature. Just enjoy the walk in the nature. Appreciate the sun and the trees. That's it. Doing what you're doing. That is what is mindfulness. Being in the present moment. This is where everyone seems to lack that awareness. So, even at workplace, you just want to make sure you're doing your job, just doing the job. So, there's so many benefits. You do your job properly, you don't make mistakes, and, there's so many benefits to it. So practicing mindfulness, again, this is a very much of a corporate term. Mindfulness is used in corporate world because they want employees to be more productive, and that's why it's become more famous. And the next one, ask yourself now. So this is the most important thing. Can I be defined by the vision of my future, or instead of the memories of the past? Now, what we are doing now, we are living in the memories of the past. We're thinking about what's happened in the past, or we are, bringing those emotions back, and we are creating ourselves into a loop where, which is again, which we need to break, and it's hard to break again. But then you want to be driving your future by thinking what you really want. What is that you want in your life? Take time to answer those questions. So you want to be, very successful in your career, then you start writing down what you want to do. And once you start writing down what you want, you're changing your brain, and then you're making those new sequences and patterns, your neural network into your brain as well. So instead of thinking about what's already happened, just think about, look ahead, vision of your future. And again, vision board is again a great example. People tend to use vision board to kind of, see what they want to, where they want to go in the future. So that's again the places of what they're dreaming of, what the goals are, what inspires them. So this is again a great tool to use. Okay, and then creative visualization. So creative visualization is a brain imaginary science. This is again extremely famous. So what visualization is a process of putting together visual, mental imaginary of what you want to manifest in life. So now you're thinking about, now you're trying to be a new self, right? So what do you want? So do you want a new house, or do you want a new car, or you want a great success in your career? So whatever it is, trying to continuously imagine what you really want to be, is the creative visualization process. This is exactly what you want to be, is what you should be. Where the attention flows, energy flows, right? You, again, we are talking about energy science, and you wanted to make sure that you're manifesting everything, and you want to really creatively visualize everything that you want, so everything gets manifested. Okay, and now, so love everyone. The reason I've said this, love everyone, is because when we looked at the emotions and the frequencies, love is something that stands right on the top of the scale, because we are when we love somebody, we are emitting that the frequency is so high. One frequency that can change anyone is love. Feeling of love has got that highest frequency. Again, Rhonda Byrne, The Secret. I'm sure many of you have read the book, and this is a quote from there: the greater you feel love for, you emit. Because when you feel love for somebody, what happens, your thoughts and your body and the mind is in that elevated state of emotion. So when you love somebody, you're emitting that electromagnetic signature into the universe that gets manifested at some point in future. So what you give out, and what did we say? Thoughts are electric, feelings are magnetic. It's a feeling of love. When you emit the feeling of love, you're going to bring in the same event back into your field. So something happens to you which is going to be something of that frequency. So that is why loving everyone is so important. Love your neighbor, love everyone. Love is free. You don't have to hold any grudges, or just don't pass any judgments or comments on anybody. Just love everyone as they are. Accepting, this is so important. Accepting everyone as they are is so important for you to change. It's not because you're trying to change them, but for you to change. You want to create the new future, and you want to write your own story. This is what you should be doing: loving everyone. Okay. And then forgiveness is something I can't undermine. The most important of all, now forgiveness, because you are basically trying to bring in the emotion of somebody. You're trying to recollect your memory of something that's happened in the past where you're not able to forgive them. So you're still in that energy bonding with that person, or that event. So forgiveness is so important, because that's a gift you can give yourself. So holding a grudge against somebody doesn't make you strong, but again, forgiving doesn't make you weak. It sets you free. So what happens with forgiveness? There's a whole science around forgiveness. There's a whole philosophy around forgiveness. I've just put few, just to give you a feel or gist of it. But then forgiveness is so important. Forgive everybody. Don't hold on to that emotion. Somebody has humiliated you, a random example. So what do? You just forgive them. Just forgive them, not because it makes you weak, or it makes them stronger, but then you want to be free of that emotion. If you want to really create a new life, this is what you got to forgive everyone. Because most of the times you're hating somebody, or you don't like somebody, subconsciously sits in your mind. It's all in your subconscious mind. You might superficially say, yes, I have forgiven him. But again, this is something we need to check ourselves, that, we are actually forgiving everyone, right? So, and again, what kind of mindset do you have? This is so important. I can't explain, or how important this is, but this is a kind of a mindset we need. What kind of mindset do you have? A growth mindset or a fixed mindset? So most of the people I've seen, so if they fail something, they do not want to do that again, because they think they've failed. And once they've failed, they don't want to redo the same thing, and they do not want to take risk. But then growth mindset is something that, even you failed, you wanted to learn, because when you fail, you learn more, right? So this is what happens. If you uh, if you think something is hard, it can be hard. So this is what we need to be. So this is what it is, the kind of mindset you want to carry. So you want to always carry a growth mindset. And one more thing is scarcity versus abundance mindset. Most of the people, how much ever they have, how much ever they possess, they seem to operate from a scarcity mindset. So that means, you're trying to say, I do not have enough. I cannot probably, I cannot do this, or I need more. So you're trying to operate at a scarcity mindset. So when you operate at that mindset, what are you actually telling yourself or telling the universe? because again, we said thoughts and feelings and emotions. You're sending out that electromagnetic signature into the universe, saying that, oh, I don't have this, I'm in lack. So again, you seem to attract events into your life which are again bound to be something of lack. But again, when you have abundance mindset, that means you're happy to share with somebody, and compassion and love. This is this is what is a abundance mindset. So this is what you got to be aware of. And then so being optimistic, abundance is again being optimistic. So you just wanted to make sure that the best is yet to come in future. So being optimistic is being feeling abundant, right? So this is something you've got to be extremely careful about. I mean, I know people know about it, but sometimes because of the subconscious programming, we kind of go into that loop. And affirmations. So affirmations is a great tool to be used. Affirmations is something that is very popular in changing your beliefs. So because when we operate from that subconscious level, there's so many beliefs within ourselves that sit in the subconscious mind, where we are actually thinking, oh, I'm scared, I can't do it. So what, even there is this 10% of the mind is conscious, and we say, yes, I wanted to go ahead, I want to take this challenge, but then there is something that draws you back, because it's because of the subconscious mind. So again, so affirmations is something so important. It's a what is an affirmations? If people do not know, affirmation is a positive statement that you can help you to challenge and outcome your self-sabotaging and negative thoughts. So that is again what affirmation does to you. So I'll talk about more in what in the negative talk is, but then we are basically trying to say that, okay, when you wake up in the morning, you're trying to say, yes, I'm strong. However your situation is, you're trying to say, yes, I am very powerful. I am very, today my day is going to be amazing. So what you're trying to say is, you're trying to affirm yourself that your day is going to be very good, and then you're going to have a great day. So regardless of the situation. So, affirmation is again a great tool to use. And there is also something called incantation. So where you kind of basically use a loud voice in order to affirm that. So incantations is again something making that sound, yay, I'm so happy, that is called incantation. This is so what when you put your emotions and when you put your heart feelings to it, it becomes more real, isn't it? Because that's electromagnetic signature you're sending out into the universe. So incantation is again a great tool that you can use. So gratitude again. Oh, this is the most important thing. Gratitude. So what having that attitude of gratitude is one amazing tool or a technique that you could use every day. This is something that you got to practice right from the time you open your eyes in the morning. Having that attitude of gratitude can really, there's so many benefits to it. So, it shields you from negativity, it makes you more happier. So, and that again rewires your brain. We talked about neuroscience, where you're creating that neural network, and then how do you make that hardwired programming in your brain is through help of gratitude. So whatever the situation, again, gratitude is again most importantly, it enhances the law of attraction. So what happens with gratitude? When you wake up in the morning, you think of all those negative emotions, but then if you put that energy, it's the same energy, you use it positively or negatively, it's the same energy. So if you put your energy into expressing that gratitude in the morning, just thanking, you know, thank your bed, thank your pillow for giving you that comfortable sleep. As you step your foot down on the carpet, just be grateful that, you have something that, you have a shelter above you, every small thing. So every small thing, if you try and express gratitude, what happens? Again, the neuroscience we talked about, you're sending that signature into the universe, where you're going to be more grateful. You will be drawing events into your life that you'll be more grateful about. Okay, so gratitude is the most important thing. talk about avoiding the self-talk. So what we do every morning when we wake up, we have this mental chatter in the mind, which is telling us so many things about ourselves. Oh, I'm not good, I'm not enough, or whatever it is. So you have to make sure that we are actually moving away from that negative self-talk into a positive self-talk. Just talk to yourself, saying that again, with the help of affirmations, it will help you to kind of build that confidence using the self-talk. Okay, and lastly but not the least, this is where all the magic happens: meditation. Meditation, breath meditation is where we kind of the most important tool in order to change everything, one stop shop so for everything. So this is where when we go into meditation, we go into that quantum energy field. How do we do it, and how do we manifest the dreams of our life? This is all everything that happens within the meditation. Okay. And so now you've understood what is the current reality, how do you change. If you practice all these tips every day, you are conditioning your body and your mind. So neurologically, chemically, biologically, you're conditioning your body and your mind. So your personality creates your personal reality. So how you think, how you feel, and how you act, right? So now this is everything, so which is enough for you, more than enough for you to rewrite your own story, authoring your life. So it's never too late to rewrite your story. And I really hope that this session has given you enough tips and those tools in order to create and manifest the life of your dreams and how to rewrite it. Thank you, and that's about me. And just wanted to finally say I'm a certified life coach. I'm an NLP, emotional intelligence life coach, a transformation. I've done various modalities, within a different space. I'm a Ho'oponopono practitioner, and a money and a prosperity life coach. So there's so many modalities that I've covered. But again, this session I want you to take away as a New Year's gift for you to change your life, rewrite your life, and create that abundance in your life. This should give you everything you need to rewrite your story.